I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For roll call, Mr. Garber still didn't. Okay, Mr. Maris is here, but Mr. Garber, he joins us. Mr. Graham will let us know with it. I'd like to announce that the board met in exec session immediately prior to this meeting to discuss 5 personnel matters and 2 student matters. Next, I'd like an approval for the agenda tonight, incorporating any additions or deletions. A motion to approve, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson. Second.
I'll second that.
Any questions, discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 7-0. Okay, next, a motion to approve the minutes of the last school board meeting held on March 11th. The building or the education program policy and legal committee meeting held on March 20th, and the buildings and grounds and finance meeting held on March 25th.
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Johnson.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Eshelman. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 7-0. And we're going to move on to student and staff recognitions. Mr. Bremerski.
Oh, sorry.
Well, good evening, everyone. Great to see you. Thank you for coming out tonight. I'm very excited tonight that we get to honor Miss Sarah Jones. Want to come on up? Miss Rauscher, want to come up too? Yeah, no, that's fine, but we'll bring you up too. So want to share some exciting news. Sarah already knows this, and so the members of our district, but Sarah was nominated for and has officially received the SHAPEPA LLB 2025 Elementary Teacher of the Year Award. This prestigious award recognizing outstanding educators who demonstrate excellence in health and physical education and inspire their students through innovative and impactful teaching practices. Sarah exemplifies dedication, leadership, and a passion for fostering lifelong health and wellness habits in her students. Her commitment to high-quality instruction and engagement in professional development has significantly contributed to the advancement of physical education within the Hempfield School District and beyond. This was shared with us when we received notice that Sarah was the recipient of this year's award. But I can tell you from personal experience, having been in Sarah's classroom a tremendous amount of times over my time in the district, she not only exemplifies everything that was shared here, but I would say more importantly, the passion and care that she has for her students, the profession is significantly far and exceeds anything that we would see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, you just truly excel in what you do. You're always looking to grow, push yourself, to motivate your students in such a positive way, and they love being in your classroom. And anytime I'm there, she's always, come on in, join. And it is just so wonderful to see the excitement of the students in her classroom. It is action-packed. They are learning, they are moving. She utilizes every possible minute of the time that she has with them. But you just know the students and families at East Pete so well. And we're just so honored that you're part of the Hempfield family and that you just bring that excellence to the classroom into East Pete. So thank you for everything you do, and congratulations on behalf of the district, East Pete. We're just so thrilled to be able to honor you and say thank you.
Thank you.
And not prepared, Ms. Rauscher, the principal at East Pete, do you have any words you would like to share?
I just echo what Mr. Bremerski just said. When you go into Sarah's classroom, it's all about the students she serves. She gets to know them at their individual levels. She makes adaptations for those in need. She's always encouraging. It's always about teamwork. It's always about, hey, you want to be the captain for today. She's thinking about how to encourage that wellness, that fitness, But it goes beyond just her classroom. What you might not know, she has a very active role within our district as it relates to making sure that we're taking care of our staff and staff training. She also goes above and beyond, supporting her colleagues within our entire phys ed department, as well as art, music. She just embraces what we all believe is best practice. And Sarah, I could not be more proud. I've been in a lot of classrooms and she is the real deal. She is the true essence of excellence and she strives for mastery every day.
Do you like to say anything? Not required. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Record or quote me.
Yeah.
No, I just, I'm grateful for the team that I have at East Petersburg Elementary and then also my health and PE department. A lot of support and growth from them in our meetings, conversations, extra phone calls, planning for things here at the district. So I really appreciate their time and care for me and the way we kind of encourage each other and continue to grow together. So thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Come to
you.
the gym.
Yep.
Join me.
And while Mr. Boberski's coming back, I'll just add, because I've been into her classroom a few times with Dr. Danbridge and Mr. Boberski, the kids are active, very actively engaged. She does a great job with the kids and it's well deserved. And most of the times I couldn't do the things she was even asking the primary, kindergarten, and first grade kids to do. So congratulations.
Right, thank you. And we're going to turn over to student council. Not sure who.
We got multiple people.
Okay.
I have 2 officers and a representative here
Okay.
that are going to explain what we've been doing this past month and what we plan to do in the future months.
Student Council Leadership Conference at Cedar School. And so the goal there was to just learn more about leadership and exchange ideas with other student council. Yeah, sorry, it keeps cutting out. Oh, my fault. And it was a really fun time. We went throughout the whole school day and we just got to talk with a bunch of other student councils and learn about new things. We did some like group building exercises and the advisors met and talked about things as well. It was a really good time.
Okay, an upcoming event we have this Friday is our spring shebang at the high school. This is pretty much where the whole school gets together to enjoy an afternoon of activities outdoors. And student council will be helping run this event along with selling pretzels.
Okay, then looking forward, on April 25th, another 8 student council members, including myself and Arvin, will be attending another conference at Conestoga Valley. And there we will discuss like similar things, like different ideas on how to improve the students and like the community at our high school. So that's something to look forward to.
That's all we have. It's a pretty stress-free couple of months.
Thank you for sharing. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I do have, when you went to the conference, did you hear about any activities that maybe can't do this year, but you'd like to try again or try next school year for the ones that are not seniors that'll be back?
I know we mentioned having a like almost preschool event. So like maybe the day before school starts, we get all the kids together outside. There's a field right outside of the high school. We could get like an outdoor movie going. The issue is there's a lot of rules that we have to follow for that and paperwork we have to get done for that. So it's definitely something to work towards. I don't know if it'll happen this summer, but it's something in the future is an idea.
Okay, so I was just curious. Thank you. You're welcome to stay. You can go home and do your homework, go home and enjoy the nice evening. It's totally up to you.
Thank you.
Rules are always an issue.
Yes,
By the way, for the record, we're on the same page.
Yeah. Very tough.
thank you.
Thank you for being here tonight. Look forward to a good spring shebang.
Okay, next is residents' requests to address the board. The board provides the time for public comment for residents and taxpayers to bring their thoughts to the board, but it's not a time for exchange between the board administration and speaker. We ask that speakers refrain from identifying specific students, staff, or community members by name. Residents and taxpayers who are interested in making public comments must complete the electronic registration form prior to 3 p.m. on the day of the meeting. And we have one request to address the board tonight.
Also, Mr. Garber did join us online.
Okay.
Know that. Our only speaker this evening is Erin Small.
Hi, good evening. So it's that time of year again, when our lawmakers are beginning negotiations toward a final budget that will determine the amount our district ultimately receives in state funding. So I'm here again to urge you to advocate for public education as a priority in that budget. You've already heard several summaries of the proposed budget Governor Shapiro presented in February. Our administrators and business office, as well as your fellow school board directors, already have a good understanding of that proposal and the specific increases and assistance we would see if those proposals make their way into this year's final budget. So I'm here as a parent, an educator, and a taxpayer to remind you that your position as elected officials gives you power and influence, as well as a very specific insight that you can share with our lawmakers. You are entrusted with the financial stewardship of our district's resources. As has been discussed in multiple contexts over the recent past, our local revenue is being stretched to the limit to adequately meet both the needs and the wants of our district. We have significant capital projects that will require us to continue to plan wisely. Especially given the expected cuts to federal sources of funding, it's even more important that we seek out all available forms of revenue, especially our own state dollars. I'm asking you to go get our tax money by reminding lawmakers of our needs. This request is for each of you as school board directors, but also for members of the public who might be listening. Please reach out to your state representative and senators and let them know that public education and adequate funding for our schools is a priority for you. I also want to invite you to a town hall that's going to be hosted by POWER Interfaith on Sunday, April 27th at 4 p.m. It will be held here in Hempfield at the Church of the Apostles on Marietta Avenue. All of our local lawmakers have been invited to attend, and 2 have agreed to be in attendance so far. It's an opportunity to have your questions answered, learn more about the current issues with funding, and to get tools and resources so that you can make your voice heard on this topic. I have flyers with this information if you're interested, and I hope to see many of you there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on, superintendent's report, Mr. Bomerski.
Thank you and good evening again. Just gonna start really quick. Mrs. Hall, in terms of the bond issue with Mr. Videlli here, do you want to start with him sharing anything or updates? Yep, okay. So Lou, we'll have you come up, start there, even though it's on the agenda later, but this would be an opportunity for you just to be able to address the board.
Sure, no, thank you. Just a quick update on the progress that the team's been making. Your administration did a great job in preparing for the credit rating call. We had that a couple of weeks ago, and the good news is that Moody's reaffirmed the school district's credit rating at AA2. I think Mrs. Hall shared that final report with you. Really good information there talking about the district's strong financial management, certainly the growing tax base that you enjoy. So I would encourage you to check that out if you haven't already. Obviously, that's a key component when we go to market bonds to the investors. So that step is finished. What you have before you tonight is the parameters resolution to adopt. You've done this each of the last 2 years that authorizes the team to sell up to $15 million of bonds towards your capital projects. While the amount in that resolution is always more, the amount that we will sell will not exceed 15 million because we've educated that's that cutoff mark where you can keep any positive interest earnings as long as your issue is no larger than 15 million in a calendar year. So that is the plan. If you adopt that tonight, we'll continue to be moving forward in preparations for going to market with the issue. Currently, we have it scheduled to price in 2 weeks. I'm sure everyone's aware of what's happening in the financial markets, both stock markets and bond markets, the US Treasury bond market, the municipal bond market, where your bonds will be sold. Incredible volatility. Our underwriting desk is saying it's very similar the last couple of days to what we saw in March of 2020, where people were just basically looking to cash out everything, cash out stocks, bonds. So there's not a lot of liquidity in the markets. We postponed a school district deal that we're scheduled to price tomorrow. So told Mrs. Hall beforehand, we'll be going basically day by day, keeping her up to date as we get closer to being ready to go into the market with your bonds in 2 weeks. The good news is there's no urgency for you to get to market. If we need things to calm down for a month, we'll wait a month and until we see a normal orderly market. Right now, we don't have that. So that's part of the benefits of the parameters that you're adopting. It gives us that flexibility to continue to monitor the market. When things are right, we'll let the administration know that that's when we would potentially go and price your bonds. So we were actually had set up a schedule to sell bonds in May and close in June. So we potentially would be right in that schedule. But again, you don't really have an immediate need for these funds. So we do have a great deal of flexibility. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. If you took a look at the resolution, it was identical to the two that you have adopted previously.
Anyone with questions? We'll be approving it last financial item tonight. Separately, it's 11I.
So Lou, it's I haven't looked at the details of it, but how much time do we have in that resolution to, you said we have plenty of time to, what is the exact amount of time we have?
So those parameters resolutions don't really have an expiration date.
Okay,
So really, it's
whenever it makes sense
basically
for you guys.
unlimited. Yep.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Lou.
Couple other updates that I just want to share. I'm talking about the parameters resolution for the borrowing. We had last Wednesday night our community forum, which we were able to present updates on the district, looking at different goal areas from the comprehensive plan, as well as some academic data, looking at enrollment trends. And then we spent a good portion of the meeting sharing updates about the potential high school project that we are planning and working on and bringing things back and forth to you. And so I want to express my thanks and appreciation to the team who was part of building the presentation and gathering all the information, for being able to be there, share updates and present. The other thing that I think is really important to share is we had student representatives there, and they're sharing information and collecting information as well. And we're gathering everything that we had, and all of the slides exactly as they were shared will be put on our website, including all of the video animations where you can see some of the initial schematic designs that were developed for the project. As we continue to bring that to you at future meetings, those slides and that information will also be going onto our website. We are looking to hold another one of those community events probably in the October timeframe next school year. But we'll also be able to capitalize on the roundtable report that we send to every household within our attendance area this coming spring to provide some additional updates on the project and links and some QR codes to that information, trying to make sure we're doing everything we can to get the information out across our community so that those who want to know can know, and we'll have that information. So if you're getting feedback, that's great. If you are getting questions, please feel free to send those questions to us. We're building an FAQ from the questions that were asked and answered that evening, but we're going to publish all of those as well.
So Mike, the video and the presentation will both be on. They're not on yet.
Correct.
Okay. And I'm assuming, Kelly, you pull up the Hempfield website. It's one of the first things you'll see. So we really get the word out. I was disappointed we didn't have more people, but I'm glad we did have some people. And hopefully we get more of that information out.
I think the community will spread the word. I was happy with who was there, and I think people who show up will then talk to their neighbors and community members, so we'll get lots of questions.
A couple other updates I just want to share at the end of the month. This was in board news, but our dance theater production of Fundamentals will occur. Our senior preview night will be Thursday, May 1st. And then we will have the dance theater event will take place May 2nd through May 4th. So if you're interested in getting tickets, that information is provided in board news. Will continue to be there up until ticket office closes. And the last piece that I just want to share, we had a great event last Wednesday before the community event. Our unified track event, track and field event occurred in our stadium. While it was a cold evening, afternoon, evening time frame, it is just absolutely wonderful to see the unified track and field team and the community come together to support that team. And so we are working on a send-off for the next unified event competition, and that'll be on, we're looking at Thursday, May 1st. Did I have correct, Mrs. Burkholder? First Thursday. May 1st. So May 1st in the afternoon time frame, we'll get specifics out to you, but if you're able to join us for that send-off, that would be absolutely wonderful to cheer on the team. And you have the calendar of events as well as the enrollment report for the month of April. And I'll take any questions, and if no questions, that's the end of the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you.
Oop,
There's no
Mrs.
president.
Can I
Oh,
say-
sorry.
I remember when that unified track team presentation was made, a few of us were on the board when that happened. That's the only time I've ever seen the board go, can we vote on this tonight? And we did, and I'm just really proud of how that's going, the superintendent and his staff overseeing it. It's a big deal to host these type of events, and I'm just really proud of our district for doing that for our community. So thank you to you and to the athletic director and all the other people that are involved in putting this event together. So thank you for that.
We have a lot of great staff who are part of making that happen for our kids. So. Okay. Anything else?
Okay,
Turn it back to you, Mr. Donato.
moving on, there's the president's report, representative and adjunct reports, Lancaster County Career and Technology Center, Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. Joint Operating Committee met on Thursday, March 27th at Willow Street. The big thing of note there is that the CTC certificate and award ceremonies will all be held on May 27th. Unlike in past years, we are not hosting one of them here at Hempfield. I'm not sure why that change was made, but they will be at 3 locations around the county, all on the same night. If anyone has an interest in attending, you are certainly welcome to do so. The next JOC meeting will be April 24th at Brownstown.
Any questions for Mr. Keener? Okay, IU 13.
Yeah, in our last month's meeting, Matthew Stem did talk about, there is some concern, obviously, with the U.S. Department of Education, and there's a lot of federal funds in both their programs and the various schools and the IU programs. So they're just making preparations. They have three things: minimal disruption, moderate disruption, and significant disruption. Nothing's definite yet, but they are prepared in case some of the federal funds are cut back. And so they had considerable discussion on that. And our next meeting is tomorrow evening, which I will be attending.
And tonight, one of the financial action items is we are voting for the IU 13 general operating budget for next school year. So just to let you know, if anyone has questions about that, you can ask now. If not, keep moving on. Okay, moving on. Hempfield Rec Center, this is Brady. Sure.
I was unable to make the last meeting 2 weeks ago, so if you were there, please.
I did attend the last meeting 2 weeks
Okay.
ago, and I would say there's nothing largely new to report, but all things are going well.
Still open and operating.
We are indeed, and
That-
even
that's-
I work out sometimes.
Okay, safety and security, Mr. Garber.
Sorry, nothing new to report.
Thank you. PSBA, Mrs. Eshelman.
Nothing new to report.
Thank you. Standing committees, buildings and grounds, Mr. Maris.
Okay, we met not too long ago, March 25th. We had a discussion on an Eagle Scout project by a ninth grader named Caleb Keel. Dr. Kramer, Centerville Elementary School principal, assisted. He's looking at building a type of wall that'll help with their game. I forget what the name of the game, wall ball. And I think everything looked pretty good, and I believe we're approving that tonight, approving to go ahead with that. Is that right, Mr. Bermersky?
It is on, and additional information will continue to be provided, and nothing will start until everything is submitted and brought in.
All right. We also had an update by KCBA on the high school project. Went over a bunch of stuff, some new ideas, as well as we had the community forum the next day. Let's see, the following week. And then Mr. Graham talked about fiber conduit replacement in much need of repair. I believe the cost recalls about, remember, Mike? I don't have it here in my
There
notes.
were a couple different components. The total's around 33,000, I think 32,000. There's different
Thank you.
contracts on the agenda tonight related to that.
Okay. And then we talked about the three-year capital plan. Mrs. James reviewed that and talked about, I believe, the next couple summers. And then we adjourned to the finance committee meeting.
Questions? Finance? Mr. Wagamove?
My report is short. Mrs. Hall did present an update on the 25-26 budget. We reviewed the general fund budget, the revenue, expenses, and the Act One index forecast, and how high we can go with our taxes, just to break it down. So we have a lot to think about as a board in looking ahead to next year's budget. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Education and programs, Mr. Johnson.
Excuse me. We had a presentation from Dr. Dandridge concerning full-day kindergarten. We will continue to receive information about how we're proceeding with that. Currently, we're looking at just expanding you're gonna have to tell me the initials again. ED. I'll show all these acronyms change about every 10 years, so, or less actually. So we are hopefully going to start with that, having 2 classrooms of that, one classroom in each of our elementary schools to expand that program. Testing takes place for the placement of that as kids enroll for kindergarten. There is an assessment done, so we don't have any numbers for that at this time. He also presented a plan that the administration is putting together and working through, including finance, and one of our biggest hands, besides the dollars, is facility availability and what we would need to make that happen. So that will continue to be part of our meetings. And so if you're interested in that, please make sure to attend them in person or through Zoom. And if you have any input, that's the time to sign up to speak or to speak to us afterwards or anytime if you have questions. So we're pretty excited about that coming about, and I look forward to seeing how it actually does work out for us. And that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Policy, Personnel, and Legal, Mr. Keener.
Thank you, Mr. Donato. The Policy, Personnel, and Legal Committee also met on March 20th. We tabled policy 005 to the April meeting to address questions about some of the footnotes. There were 3 policies for first reading tonight and 2 for second reading tonight, and they are listed on tonight's agenda.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to personnel action items. Need a motion to approve personnel action items 9, 1 through 9, please.
So moved.
Thank you.
Beat me to it.
Would you like to second? Thank you. Mr. Wagner and Mrs. Johnston, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Mr. Garber, give a nothing. Okay, then it'll be motion passes 8-0. At this point. Moving on, we do have a buildings and grounds action item, and it's an approval to amend the capital projects plan.
I'm sorry, Mr. Nava, point of order.
Yes,
Mr. Garber did not vote.
correct.
So
That's why he said 8-0.
That's why I said
it
8-0.
would be.
8-0. There's 9 minus 1.
Okay, all right, sorry, I can't count.
Okay.
I'll give you a math lesson after the
One pass.
one pass. Okay, moving on to buildings and grounds action items, approval to amend the capital projects plan. I believe if I remember correctly, we discussed this. It's to move the, yes,
It's to move the fiber lines up
fiber
from year
lines,
2 to
yes,
year
okay,
1
yeah,
because of the work.
For a couple months early.
okay. Any question or need a motion to?
So
approve?
moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. I heard Mrs. Eshelman in there. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 8-0 unless Mr. Garber. Oh, okay. Moving on to financial items. Need a motion to approve financial items B through H, and H is the IU budget for the next school year.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Wakamuth.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Just for me, just one quick thing, and this is a point of clarity, if nothing else. And as I was reading this, just kind of looking at under financial reports, as I'm looking at the athletic spending information, can we just go through, just if nothing else, just for points of clarity on what we're looking at here and what some of these things cover? As I take a look at each of the sports, there's across the top of the spreadsheet, there's salaries, benefits, transportation, supplies. A lot of that is, I think, self-explanatory, but there's a few things in here that I'd love to just understand kind of what is covered under some of those items. So if we just take a moment and just clarification purposes.
If you didn't, he's looking at financial item, it is financial reports.
11.
Are you talking about the report that's 2 pages? With
It's 1 page.
One page.
It's a spreadsheet. It's
It's labeled athletic spending
athletic
March.
spending.
There's 2 pages attached to that. The first is just a cover sheet. No? Oh, then I
No,
got
it's
it
just
wrong.
one page.
Where's it at?
It's this.
Never mind.
It's a spreadsheet.
I just want to make sure I understand what you're looking at.
If you're looking at the documents, you'll see activity fund March 25. The one to the right of that is athletic spending March 2025
That's right.
year to date.
That's right. So as I take a look at this, I see salaries, and I know what that's for, obviously, right? I think that's one of the self-explanatory columns, if I'm not mistaken, right? Benefits. I'd like to know kind of what benefits covers, just because I know that a lot of our sports include coaching staff that are already employed as employees of the district. And so what would benefits then cover? Because that wouldn't be,
Sirs.
is that what it's from? It's Peasers. Okay. Is that the main driver of that number?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. And that would not, and then that's here because that's different than,
Well, PCERS is applied to all of the wages.
Okay.
So those wages are coded to athletics. So the PCERS contribution goes to athletics as well.
understood. Okay, that helps. Thank you. The next one over to your right, Mrs. Hall, is contract services, officials, training and development. Obviously, I know that we have to pay officials. I am one, so thank you for that. Contract services, training and development, what does that look like? And I only ask there as well, there are some pretty substantial differences from sport to sport to sport. And so I'm curious as to what type of training and development we're talking about, what that also encompasses.
So I can tell you it's officials and it's also police services.
Okay.
When we have larger football games and things of that nature.
EMT,
Yeah,
is that right? Okay.
yeah, I can't tell you the training, I don't, off the top of my head. I don't.
Okay. Because I just see like athletic training is, 16,700 and change. And, boys cross country is $200. So I'm just looking at that going, okay, well, what drives one versus the other, right?
That's a great question for the athletic director.
Fair enough, okay. Transportation, I think self-explanatory. Supplies, I would imagine that's things like pitching machines for the baseball team. I would imagine it's those types of things. Am I fair? Is that fair to say?
Mr. Wagner, I don't know if I'm correct, but my guess on your example of the boys cross country, that's a fall sport, and this is, I believe, just the winter. So that cost would be low right now at this time.
This is year to date.
This is year to date fiscal, so that, so
fiscal.
cross country
Okay.
would be over by now.
My fault.
So if it's spring, so baseball, you're gonna see lower numbers, and
I'm
that's,
thinking year-to-date
yeah.
January.
And for the record, I don't want to get in the weeds on this. That's the last thing I want to be doing, but when I do take a look at this, and we're talking about a 7-figure spend for some of these things, or for this spreadsheet as a whole, in this department as a whole, I just want to kind of get an idea and the lay of the land of what's driving a lot of these. And I look at things like football, and there's a net amount. Now, they are a revenue generating team. They generated almost $32,000 this past year, but the net amount, the net spend is 132,000, right? So how is that so different than the golf team at 11,000?
Maybe
a lot of things that go into that, personnel, coaching, equipment, et cetera. Obviously, there's
just a suggestion. Maybe we bring our athletic director, Mr. Landis, in to continue this discussion. I think he can probably answer a lot more questions.
Yeah, I was going to suggest this is in the weeds.
It is.
Pardon my directness, but this is in the
I admit it
weeds.
myself.
And at the end of the day, these are questions you want to ask probably in advance of a board meeting. And obviously we don't have the right people here to talk to each of these line items and break each one of these down. I mean, I'm just being direct.
No, I listen, I admitted it myself. I just figured to my left is the CFO, so I figured I would give it a shot.
CFO wouldn't be able to break this down. No CFO in the district this big understands every detail.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I feel like I'm having flashbacks now. Are you saying that this is not within the board's purview, Mr. Walkermuth?
No, that's not what I said. You completely took my words incorrectly. I said this isn't a great forum to dive into the weeds of a spreadsheet without the athletic director here. I would recommend if you have questions about these, you should be reviewing these documents in advance of the meeting. Those questions should be asked ahead of time. I'm not saying you can't ask them. I'm just telling you, it's really kind of not the great forum, and we don't have the right people here.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Listen, I was doing my best to stay 30,000 foot, which is why I didn't go into this very, very specifics and peel the onion wide open. And in terms of asking in advance, I figured this could be a public discussion, which is why I didn't want to go ahead and do that one-on-one. So
So what I'm hearing is a presentation from our athletic director. To just,
I think it's just more discussion on the report to help understand.
Maybe you can set up a meeting with him and review it with him. And if anybody else wants to be part of that, they can do that. I think that would be a better use of time. But that's just my humble suggestion.
I would suggest that I think it's a good idea to look at more specifics. Sometimes we don't do this every year about these expenditures, and in the past, it hasn't really changed anything, but we've discovered some things that we need that perhaps haven't even been included in the budget. And we found out about it, like 3 months later that we need to spend that money. But I think it's a good idea, just like we do with the food services and other areas, to periodically have an opportunity with the athletic director, just like we do with the food services director, to give us some insight about how things are being spent. Like, I had a question because we had a big discussion about football helmets one year. And how's that going? Because we said, well, let's have a rotation so we don't have to spend thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I was
every
going to
5 years.
mention that we had this discussion, and I think part of that supply thing is they are rotating through, and
Well, we hope.
yeah. And again, also the fact that football helmets are radically changing even from 5 years ago. I mean, now you'll even see pros wearing a helmet with almost looks like styrofoam on top of it. It's not, but there's,
Maybe.
they're radically changing, which I imagine, I remember the cost was expensive.
I
then.
don't remember if
Can't
it was
imagine what that-
$350 or $650.
Yeah,
per
or something,
helmet.
yeah.
Yeah, and then we wanted the JV to wear the ones that we didn't consider safe
Right.
enough by the varsity, but we were gonna put them on the JV kids, and that was the plan, and then it was like, no, it's not safe enough for varsity, it's not safe enough for JV, just things like that, that,
Isn't athletics supposed to be part of education programs?
yes, and I will.
So maybe that would be
make it-
something we could
Good point,
discuss in that
Charles,
committee
thank
meeting.
you, yeah, so
Maybe that would be more
we can,
Appropriate.
yeah.
Doing it there.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. I just wanted to bring it up because it caught my attention and I thought a public session would be good. I mean, we talk about budget all the time and here we are looking at a 7-figure piece to our district. And so why not bring up a couple of things from a 30,000-foot view and start to take a look at a couple of things. I'm open to whatever. I'm not trying to get into the weeds and, but just wanted to bring it up because it caught my attention.
Doug and I are planners, so we have that meeting kind of set already. Obviously, we serve at the pleasure of the board. But may I suggest maybe we start with a personal meeting and then maybe get some fine points and then maybe something for May?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, in the past, when I've had a similar situation, when I've been on a board, I just set up a meeting with the finance office and I went in and reviewed those particular documents that I may have had concerns about before I maybe brought it to a much larger group and spent that kind of time. Because maybe sometimes once you understand the document, it doesn't require a much larger discussion. So it's just, again, my suggestion that if you have concerns about a certain part of the finances, set that meeting up with the finance team, go in and specifically review those documents with them, and then decide if it needs to, if it requires a full-blown, session with our athletic director here. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but
So are you saying if we have questions, we need to call the finance office
No.
individually and have individual?
no,
what
not
are you
particularly. I
suggesting?
think most of the time we need to stay out of the weeds, period. So let
No,
me
I
be clear,
understand
but
that, right.
at the same time, if somebody has particular questions about a certain spreadsheet in the details, I would suggest you get those questions answered ahead of time before it comes to a voting item.
I mean, I'm sorry, I can't just let this go. First of all, anything that's presented on the agenda, someone should be available to answer high-level questions about it, okay? I agree that it's not reasonable to expect people to know every detail of every $10 spend in a $155 million budget. But the people around this table are very capable and can answer a lot of these questions. And while I'm sensitive to the idea that we should not be too far down in the weeds, if we're addressing these sort of one-off things when the rest of the board isn't around, that's how the board starts to lose its cohesiveness, when we don't all have access to the same information. So I think I'm sensitive to the point that you're making, Mr. Welkemer, but I don't think that we should be trying to discourage board members from drilling down on the data that the administration chooses to present to us.
We can
I
talk
think
about this
they
till
present it to
midnight
us.
if you want.
They know what it is.
We can talk about this till midnight, 1, 2 a.m. if you like. I'm not shutting the discussion down. I'm just telling you that in the past, Mr. Keener, you've been the first to suggest that if we didn't review our documents ahead of time before they come to the board for approval, that's not a great time to get into the weeds of it. So I don't want to become argumentative, but I'm using the words that you've used in the past when it's been convenient for you to share those things. And now that the tables are turned, I guess you're supporting something different. I don't know. But at the end of the day, this is in the weeds. In my opinion, when I look at this spreadsheet, we don't have the right people to break this down right here tonight. And if we want to spend the next 5, 6, 10 hours, I'll be here till morning if you want to.
We don't want to be here that long, and as Mr. Mayor suggested, I will talk with the administration and see about getting the athletic director here to give us a pretty good bird's eye view of details. In the same way, and I'll use food services director again. She usually comes and gives us some explanations and is available to answer any questions that we might have. Everything that goes on, everything that's presented is important to us and we need to understand it. I don't want to get in the weeds either. But I do want to understand what's going on as well, and just, and I have had different questions over the years about different expenditures in the athletic department. So I will coordinate with the administration to try to make that, not to try to make that happen, but to set that up in the future. And so we can pursue this at whenever that is in our committee meeting.
And for the record, in case anyone's curious, I didn't just open this up and go, whoa. I actually saw this days ago, and my question was a planned one. It's not a public forum. And that's why I went, I don't know, 4 minutes, went literally across the board as fast as I possibly could. I don't want to know about every little pitch machine that the softball team has. It's not for discussion today. Just in general, what are we looking at, right?
Anything that's on the agenda as a board member, I reserve the right to ask a
fair game.
question about it.
Agreed. Very good. Thank
Any
you.
other discussion? Questions about that? I think we had a motion and a second to approve B through H. So if there's no other questions, a vote please. All those in favor? Okay, so motion carries 8-0. Going on then. Motion to approve the bonds parameter resolution. And again, this is for us to borrow $15 million or something close to that for our capital campaign. And as stated, the borrowing will occur when it's to our best financial things.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Walkamuth, any discussion?
Just a reminder that we have a benefit here that I believe if we earn money on this, we don't have to pay taxes.
No,
And that-
we get to keep the interest earnings.
Keep the interest earnings, which is a benefit for the Enfield district, so.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All those in favor? Okay, motion carries 8-0.
And point of information, why did we vote on that separately? Why was that not just included with the rest of the finance action items? I'm just curious.
Just curious. I think it was put in there. I'll let you
Nope.
answer.
So if you don't have it separate, I mean, the way we do our minutes, it notes who votes for what specific item. So if someone votes yes or no, it's listed. If you don't do it that way, you have to do a roll call vote. For this particular piece, we just separated it because that's what we've done consistently with the bond issuance, is that it's always been its own, not attached, so that we can be clear in the minutes of the accurate reporting, because that also has to go on the some of the documentation for the parameters resolution. So they'll see the minutes as a separate item.
Okay.
They don't have to dig into the details.
So it goes to the parameters resolution then. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
So if you don't separate it out, it has to be a roll call vote. So it's going to be separate anyways. Either way you do it.
Okay.
But
That's helpful, thank you. 2 years from now, when you do another one of these, and I ask the same question, you can give me
Okay,
the same answer.
refer back to 2
we
years.
just keep it in our template and move it forward.
Okay, moving on, other action items, approval for other action items B through G. I say J, but that's G.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, motion carries 8-0 and motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Maris. Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I had to beat him.
Okay, motion carries 8-0 and we're adjourned. Thank you and good night.